Time for our STL Sports Central College preview. Brenden Schaeffer, Randy Karraker, great to have you with us on the day that Missouri will take over the imagination of the entire country. University of Missouri against Alabama. B. Schaefer, I know that you're fired up about this one. Yep. First of all, don't peak too soon.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough.
Alabama's a 2.5-point favorite at Faurot Field. I look at this game, and I know that Mizzou's schedule has been easy, and that's what people are talking about. But Mizzou has played really well. If people that have watched the team, have paid attention to the team, look at what they've done, you say, okay, this is a team that has a chance to beat Alabama, because what Mizzou does well is what Alabama's weaknesses are.
Yeah, I think in most regards that's true. Mizzou running the football has been their bread and butter offensively, and we've seen Alabama struggle at times against the run.
87th in the country.
87th in the country. And like, I even look at that Vanderbilt game and wonder, did the Commodores abandon the run a little bit in the second half when they could have tried to stick with it? I think the score, the situation maybe dictated, let's put the game on Pavia's arm and his legs and see if it works. And it obviously didn't. But I feel like we haven't necessarily seen Alabama solve that issue. Like, I'm not counting it as a win for Bama that they didn't give up as many rushing yards, because I think Vanderbilt kind of abandoned it to an extent in that game.
You're a young man. Do you remember in the Nick Saban era, Alabama not having like a number one running back?
Right. Yeah.
It's weird to have them not have a guy where you say, okay, well, it's Derrick Henry, or it's Mark Ingram, or it's Trent Richardson, or it's Brian Robinson. They've always had a guy. It doesn't seem like they have a guy this year.
I think Jam Miller is certainly, now that he's back healthy, is going to end up becoming that. He had a huge game against Vanderbilt, but Missouri number one in the country in run defense. Mm-hmm. I think he's the best running back that Missouri has seen so far, but the degree to which that's going to change what Missouri has been up front is going to be interesting to see.
And you would think that DeBoer will be throwing it deep with Ty Simpson. That's DeBoer's DNA. He did it at Washington. He did it when he was the offensive coordinator at Indiana. And so Kalen DeBoer is going to do that. Simpson can throw it. Williams can catch it. And that has been the Achilles heel for the Mizzou defense. Howard Richards said during the bye week that Mizzou addressed the issues that they have in the secondary. I don't know how they would do that, but if I have a concern about this game, tell me if that's the one that you have. It's Ty Simpson and especially Williams attacking the Mizzou secondary deep.
It's Williams, it's Jeremy Bernard, it's even Isaiah Horton. I mean, they go three deep with guys that I think could end up in the NFL, and Ty Simpson is probably another that will do so. That's my biggest concern as well. I do think it's like with the run defense stuff, we almost have to count it as a given, which it has been so far. If Jam Miller is going 6-7 yards on first down, Mizzou's really going to be on its heels, because that allows Alabama to throw a few different looks at you, even if it's 3rd and 10 with frequency. I do think this is a passing game that you have to worry about, but hopefully whatever that means with the bye week that Missouri has addressed, has it been some communication gaps where do they have to simplify some play calls with their zone coverages and make sure everybody is aware of what absolutely has to happen? If you're a safety, you cannot make a tackle in the run game, because there's guys up front that are designed to do that. You almost have to go, no matter what, I have to stay home. I have to be ready. Don't get caught with bad eyes. We've talked about that a good bit. I think that's probably the key for the Mizzou pass defense.
I don't think it's outrageous to say that Mizzou played a 4-game preseason, and nobody knew that South Carolina was going to come into town in the shape that they came into town in, and Mizzou handled them with relative ease. But those first 4 games, all due respect to Kansas, set the Tigers up to find out what they do well, what they don't do well, and then prepare for this bye week.
Yeah, statistically, when you look at the numbers, you're 5-0, and you've really not played a ton of quality opponents. 3 of the 5 were absolute just gimme bye games, right? And then the other 2, Kansas, South Carolina, those are probably bowl caliber teams, but they're not great teams. They might not even be good teams. But with what you've put on paper and what you've seen, you kind of have an identity and know what you need to go into when you're playing a team like Alabama. And now it's going to be a test of, does that identity hold up against better competition?
Okay, this is definitely not an emotional bet for Brenden Schaeffer.
Of course not.
Mizzou, a 2.5 to 3-point underdog.
Yeah.
Who's going to win this movie?
I got Mizzou. I said it's you can leave your points on the table. It's the 2 best words in sports this weekend. Mizzou money line.
Oh,
biggest game of the drink era. We can debate, the biggest game since whatever. I think it's the biggest game
ever at Faurot Field.
I think that's also right. You could say, well, A&M in 2013 got them to that SEC championship game. It was a quarterfinal for the BCS national championship. But this is really the culmination of, if you win this game, where Eli Drinkwitz has taken this program. He took the baton from Gary Pinkel and is trying to move it forward. A win like this, I think, would signal you're doing that in Columbia, Missouri.
And who's been the big bully in college football for 15 years?
It's Alabama. Right? I mean, that's it. That's a big part of it is like, that's the team. That's the big bad wolf. And you look at the 26-5 over the last 2.5 years from Missouri, they haven't won this type of game. They've beat who they're supposed to beat, and they've kind of lost who they're supposed to lose to. This is the next level of that iteration.
Don't forget, we have the post game here on STL Sports Central after Mizzou's win over Alabama. We want you to check in and react on YouTube at STL Sports Central. Let's look at some of the other games. 17th ranked Illinois hosting Ohio State. The number one team in the land is a 14.5-point favorite over the Fighting Illini. And I think that's a great line. I would have a great deal of difficulty betting on this one.
I would as well. When I did my show on the KLU information station, I took Ohio State minus the points, but I really wonder if Illinois, shows up a little bit differently, knowing how embarrassing that Indiana game was. Like, this is our chance, or we are going to be viewed as completely fraudulent. It's probably going to end up right around that, though. I do think Ohio State wins this game and wins it relatively comfortably.
And Illinois is going to get some injured players back, but they're going to have trouble throwing. And they don't run the ball particularly well. They do throw it really well. They'll have trouble throwing on Ohio State. Caleb Downs, if the Heisman Trophy was really for the best player in the country, not the best quarterback in the country, Caleb Downs would probably win.
He'd be high up in the conversation. It's just a little bit more difficult to measure the impact that he has had, but it's a big one. Is Ohio State better this year than they were last year?
There's a chance.
It's a scary question, but it might be true.
Yeah, they're pretty darn good. So I'm with you. I think Ohio State covers that 14.5. Another Big Ten matchup, 7th ranked Indiana at number 3, Oregon. The Ducks have won 18 in a row at home. They're a 7.5-point favorite. These two teams, just 2 of 3 teams in all of FBS to rank in the top 10 in both scoring offense and scoring defense.
A lot of times when we see these types of teams get together, it ends up being a lower scoring game that defense dominates. And I kind of wonder if this goes the other way because of how good Mendoza is. Last year, I kind of harped on Indiana and said, really, you didn't beat anybody, and then you got beat up by Notre Dame on your one time to shine. I didn't really believe in them. Mendoza's a difference maker, though. They've upgraded at quarterback, and I think Indiana can hang with these guys. I don't think they win it outright, but I might take them with the points.
And Dante Moore is pretty good. Probably 2 of the biggest roosters among all of the college football coaches, right? These 2 guys, Signetti and Lanning, they both like to talk.
Oh my goodness, Signetti is a trip, man, and that's part of what bothered me about it last year. Is he talks and he's talking about we schedule like an SEC, which is not really what it is. And he had the opportunity in that game against Notre Dame to really kind of put his money where his mouth was, and he punted across midfield I don't know how many times. So I kind of soured on him after that, but I think he's got the quarterback this year to kind of back up the talk.
But I'm with you. Oregon at home. By the way, a lot of great St. Louis flavor for the Oregon Ducks too. Tion Gray, former Kerry Davis offensive lineman at Hazelwood Central, is there. Dier Hill from Belleville Altoff, one of their running backs. And they've got a couple of other St. Louis kids. So Oregon will be fun to watch against Indiana. All right, back to the SEC. Number 10, Georgia, 3.5-point favorite at Auburn, where apparently Hugh Freeze is already on thin ice.
Yeah, which is weird to me. Like, this will be the kind of proving ground game for Auburn because they played a couple of tough road games and played moderately well in those games. The offense is certainly a concern because they put up 17 at Oklahoma. They put up 10 points in College Station, but they lose those games by a touchdown apiece, by 13 combined points. And those are 2 teams that, I mean, they're both top 6 in the country right now. So you played them tough.
Yeah, but you did. But that's not why Hugh Freeze was hired at Auburn, because of defense, right?
No,
they're supposed to light up the sky with points.
They got to do it against Georgia because Georgia, we've seen them play Tennessee. That was a high scoring game. We've seen those types of environments. The Alabama game was a little bit more high scoring. I think Auburn sort of needs to win a shootout in a little bit of a case here for getting the respect that they probably want, and maybe Hugh Freeze kind of take himself off the hot seat a little bit.
I think Georgia wins this game, though, and I think
they
cover. Yeah.
I kind of like Auburn to keep it close, and whether they cover or not is going to come down to maybe who has the ball last.
All right, and then the last one we have for you is the Red River rivalry. It's 6th ranked Oklahoma, and the line is going back and forth. But John Mateer is probably going to play in this game, the quarterback for Oklahoma. They're a 1.5-point favorite against Texas down at the Cotton Bowl. Texas 3-2, 0-1 in the conference. Of course, Oklahoma is undefeated. And let me start with this. I think if Mateer plays in this game and Oklahoma wins, I think Mateer still is the favorite to win the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, he might well be. But I also could see this is a game with a 44.5-point total. which is a little bit on the lower side for college football. I think it probably goes under
it's
that.
Still a Big 12 game.
It's a Big 12 game, but these aren't Big 12 defenses right now. I think these two defenses probably have their day, and you could see a situation where 20, 23 points could win this game, I think.
All right. MIZ.
COU, I'm fired up.
Yeah, let's go Tigers. And don't forget, Missouri, you need to get ready because DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is coming soon to Missouri, and you can sign up today. New Missouri customers get $300 in bonus bets when DraftKings launches on December 1st. All you need to do is download the app and place a $5 bet when we go live, and DraftKings Sportsbook will bring everything you need to elevate your game day, including live in-game betting, lightning-fast payouts, and endless ways to get in on the action, all right from your phone. And when we do officially go live in Missouri, you'll be betting with the Sportsbook app trusted by millions. Safe, secure, and has fast money withdrawals. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the code STL Sports to grab $300 in bonus bets with just a $5 bet when we go live December 1st. That's code STL Sports in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Terms of sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. And don't forget, right here at STL Sports Central, post-game for Mizzou and Alabama, post-game for Illinois and Ohio State. Both of those post-games right here at STL Sports Central. You need to check it out.
You got to check it out. I promised I'll show up on the Mizzou post game if Missouri wins the game. I'll be probably low on phone battery, but I'll hop in and you'll be able to see me. Probably my hair like this, and so it'll be a good time.
If they don't win,
I will hide and probably cry in the corner, fetal position.
All right, that is our college football preview right here at STL Sports Central.